Hello and welcome back to Not Overthinking. Taimur, how are you doing today?
I'm not doing bad. How are things with you?
You need to elaborate on that. What
Okay,
is going on in your life?
I have some news. I got married last weekend. I'm now a married man, and
Wait,
I'm
I think you
currently.
mean about 6 months ago, right?
No, it was actually this weekend. It was 4 days
Oh,
ago,
congratulations. Right.
uh, 5 days ago. So I'm a married man. I'm on my
You're a married
honeymoon.
man. Right. You've got to,
Apparently.
like, what's the story? Update the pod.
What's the story? What do you want to know?
I'm going to pretend like I'm a podcast guest. Who are you married to, Taimur?
I'm married to a lovely lady named Lucia Coulter, who has been
Not
a
Lucia
podcast.
Abdaal.
Uh, not yet. TBD on that one.
Fine. Okay.
Yes, I'm married to Lucia, who is a mutual friend of ours.
How long have you been married for?
We've been married for 5 days, 4 days, 4.5 days.
4.5 days. My God. How did you meet?
Pretty mental. We met 4.5 years ago, almost 5 years ago, in the Cotswolds. I actually talked about how we met on episode 4 about low social optionality. I think there was an anecdote in there about how I went on a group holiday with you and your mates, and one of the people there, I thought, oh my god, like there's no way we're going to get on. And in the anecdote, I played it cool. I was like, yeah, we got on pretty well in the end. And yeah, I guess we did. Yeah, so we met almost 5 years ago.
And what did you think of her at the time?
I mean, first impression, as I said in episode 4, was that we wouldn't get on. Basically, I was a bit bigoted, shall we say?
Doesn't sound like you.
She was like a medic. She was vegan, and this whole kind of group of friends is very like wholesome. It's very like, it's very. I think wholesome is just kind of the best term for it. And I consider myself. I think I can be wholesome, but I consider myself, someone with a bit of a dark side, bit of edge. My preconceptions were like, okay, you like we're not gonna like vibe in that way. And then when we met like at the first day of the trip, I made a joke that she didn't find funny, and she didn't laugh at the joke. And I thought like maybe she's offended. It wasn't an offensive joke. It wasn't that offensive. And she didn't laugh at the joke. I was already like, oh man, vegan, like medic, like yeah, just like straight down the line,
Can't imagine
wholesome.
anything worse.
Yeah, nightmare, mate, nightmare.
Vegan medic.
Uh,
For God's sake.
and so yeah, I didn't think I was like dreading the next few days on this trip. I was like, oh my god, I've already like pissed one of these people off. Like, what's gonna go? What's gonna happen? But no, it was good. We got chatting, and I think we got on. Yeah, we had a good time. And then I was basically in love with her at that point for a bit, and I told you about it, if you recall. And you were like, "Oh my god, Tame, you just like fall in love with any girl that talks to you. Like, get yourself together, man." And then I was sad about it for about a week, and then I kind of moved on. I was like, okay, she's in a relationship, there's no way she'd go for me, like blah blah blah. Moved on with my life, and then we'd see each other like a few times a year, just at your place or like just mutual friend type things, or I'd come along on one of these holidays over the next few years. And then last year, yeah, don't know exactly what happened, but we ended up spending some time together, and there was some mutual interest, shall we say, and the rest is history.
So you got together around this time last year, was it?
Yeah. By the way, I keep looking to the left because she's here in the background.
Oh,
And
so you can't be too honest, can you?
yeah, well, yeah,
Okay.
so you can see her reaction to various things.
So then you and her started dating, as they say.
Yes.
What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, I
You've never
talked
really
about my.
dated before.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about my relationship in like December, right, on the pod.
Let's assume that a lot of people listening to this episode have not listened to the episode of December.
It was nice, but I think it made my life very like hectic. It
Oh,
felt like,
tell me more.
yeah, I felt like I already had like a lot of things in my life, and this was now another thing in my life. And like it was a really nice thing, but I think it did, yeah, just like the past year or so has just been a bit like crazy in terms of stuff going on all the time. Yeah.
So amidst the hectic life, when and why did you propose?
I mean, we were quite serious about things from the beginning. I think, you know, we know each other a few years anyway, so it wasn't like we were starting from zero. You know, we're both kind of late 20s, so I'm 26 right now, almost 27. She's 28, and so you know, both kind of entering that phase.
Ooh,
Of
what's
wanting
it like
to
dating an
settle
older woman or marrying an older woman?
down. I think it's quite funny. I like that she's like a year and a bit older than me. She's not a fan. She doesn't like it. I think basically, if you're a guy, it's like high status to be with a slightly older woman.
Is it?
It's like, yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay, fine.
like kind of cool or whatever. But if you're a woman, it's like low status to be with a younger guy. It's like it's like not cool, you know. And so that I find it funny. I think it's like a funny little thing. I mean, look, it's like a year and a bit. It's neither here nor there. But I think it's just like funny that she is actually older than me, and
Yeah.
I'm actually younger than her.
Okay, so why did you decide to propose, and when did you decide to propose?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, from the start, we were quite serious about things, and the plan was like, hey, look, we'll kind of do this with the view of figuring out if we should get married or not. And then, yeah, I guess we talked about stuff over the next few months, and in February, so like, what is that, like 5 months ago or something? 5 months ago, we kind of talked about it. It wasn't like an out of the blue proposal or whatever. Like we talked about it, like, hey, you know, mutually kind of agreeing, like, yeah, you know, I think we're ready, and made it happen.
Nice. So then you've been engaged for the last 5 months minus 5 days.
Correct.
What's it like being engaged?
It's like the same as being in a relationship, but now there's like a wedding to plan and stuff. And so it's not, you know, it's like, yeah, one of my friends who we were hanging out with on kind of a weekend away where I engaged. After we got engaged, we were kind of just chatting about it and stuff. This friend got married a few years ago, and we asked, "Oh yeah, what was like the engagement period like for you guys?" And they were basically like, "Dude, it's a nightmare. It's like the worst of all the relationship statuses because like now, you know, you're not like married yet. You're not like living together and stuff." But now you have this wedding to plan, and so whenever you're hanging out, it's like, oh, like, we better like do this wedding stuff, and it just like adds this logistical burden of like, hey, we now have to organize a wedding together, and you know that can often be quite stressful with like different preferences, different opinions, wanting to try and make everyone happy, things like that. So I think being engaged itself, it's like not that fun, not like.
Yeah. How much of a faff is it to organize a wedding?
So I think it's less faff than most people think. Like most people thought that like, oh man, like there's no way, because like the wedding was like 5 months after the engagement. Most people were like, oh my god, like how are you going to organize a wedding in 5 months? I was thinking like, 5 months? How hard can it possibly be?
Yeah. But the iPhone was built in like 5 months.
Yeah, I mean, people have done way crazier things in 5 months. Yeah, it's definitely doable. It's not that much faff. I think once you have a venue, I think once you figure out, okay, here's like the ballpark of how many guests we want, then you can like get the venue. And once the venue is locked in, then a lot of like decisions are kind of made for you, and you can, you know, you kind of get the ball rolling. Whereas before you have the venue locked in, there's like too much. The solution space is too large. There's too many. You know, there's too much. And so I think the sequence is like decide on number of guests, decide on venue, and make everything else fit that once you have the venue, because I think that's probably like the most important piece. And so finding a venue, I mean, look, I don't know how interesting it is for people to hear about the logistics of organizing a wedding, but yeah, look, basically we booked a bunch of viewings of venues. We probably viewed 4 different we had like a short list, probably, I don't know, 10 to 15 venues, which we like thought were cool. And then we like booked viewings for like 4 or 5 of them. And then we decided on one of them. One thing that did make it easier was that my sort of personal assistant helped with a lot of the booking of viewings, which is, I think, the annoying part, because like you often have to like be on the phone with people and like, you know, respond to lots of emails and things like that. So yeah, we basically just told her like, hey, you know, we like these venues. Can you also try and find some more? And then we had like a round of discussion, and then we were like, okay, hey, can we get viewings with these venues? And like, yeah, that's it. And then once the venue's done, like the catering was done through the venue. We didn't have an option there.
How much
So that
politicking is there when figuring out the guest list?
it depends what you mean by politicking. I mean, it's challenging because like you obviously can't invite everyone you'd want or everyone you'd know. And so, yeah, you know, you do have to make some tough calls. And like in an ideal world, there'd be space for like all your family, extended family, all your friends, you know, all that kind of stuff. But you do kind of have to decide. And so,
what are the ballpark prices that a wedding costs in the UK? Is it in like the tens of thousands of pounds, broadly?
yeah.
Having spent in the order of tens of thousands of pounds on a single day, how do you feel about that expense, having done it, versus like, had you been thinking about the thought of spending tens of thousands of pounds on a wedding a year ago, for example?
Like it costs however much it costs. Like we wanted to have a wedding. We wanted lots of people to be there. It costs how much it costs. Like we didn't. Yeah. I mean, we could have done it probably. Yeah. We could have tried to do it a lot more cheaply, like find a field, put a massive marquee in it, like kind of, do it that way. We chose to get like a venue where they do weddings regularly and that kind of stuff. Like it's just how, yeah, I don't really worry about these things after the fact. It's just like, hey, you know, it's done. Like this is how much it costs. There wasn't like an obvious way we could have spent way less unless we like completely changed how we did the wedding.
So I guess overall you would say it's worth it. The option, because for example, the option is, it's not like, you're making it sound like an inevitability that you had to have, I don't know, 200 or however many people there. Like you could have just gotten married in like a nice small thing with like 10 people and spent 500 quid rather than several tens of thousands. So clearly there was a reason to warrant spending that extra money. And I want to sort of understand what that...
okay, yeah, let me think about that. Yeah, we could have done a super small thing for sure. I wanted lots of people to be there because like we're close with lots of people. And I think like a wedding is kind of about sharing this thing with like the people you love and all that good stuff. And so, yeah, I wanted there to be like a decent number of people. We could have definitely gone the option of like, okay, like we want a decent number of people, but like let's try and be frugal about it, kind of thing. Of like, okay, like, do we actually need a wedding venue? Once something is for a wedding, then they just like hike up the prices loads. So yeah, we could have potentially gone down the frugal route, but yeah, it's nice to have like a nice venue and stuff.
If either of you were less wealthy than you currently are, would it have been more of a, oh, we should really think about this?
I mean, yeah, I mean, obviously, yes, right. Like, you know, I think.
Okay, and so the reason I ask is because you do hear this trope of people going into debt, especially in like apparently in Pakistan and stuff, where families will go into debt to spend ridiculous amounts of money on a wedding for the sake of whatever the justification for that is. I'm wondering, okay, and the other piece of context there is I've read a few blog posts from people who are like, I could never have imagined spending 50 grand on a wedding, but now that I've spent 50 grand on a wedding, I'm actually kind of glad I did. And I actually think it was great memories. And now I recommend friends also go for a big wedding rather than trying to be super, super frugal with it. I wonder if you have any of that genre of thoughts about the thing, given that you like to think about stuff, or is it just something that you've just not really thought about too hard?
I haven't really thought about it. I tend not to like think like if I've made a purchase or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna stress about it afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, I think my thoughts are for me. I wanted there to be a decent number of people. We could have done it like a lot cheaper for sure, and I imagine we could have done it in a way that was still like a really great day, a really great event. Like I think you can do that. I think that would have been. I think that would have been totally possible. If you go down the route of getting a thing called a wedding venue, and then it like puts it into a different ballpark of price. Okay, so apparently if you just get a field and you put a marquee in it, that's really expensive as well. I don't know. I think like if we wanted to, we could have.
A big marquee is more expensive than our venue.
I think if you wanted, you could have done it for like a fifth of the price, and I think
I think there would have been a way. I think there would have been
there would have been a way
to do it for like a fourth of the price.
It's just that you didn't want to do it for a fifth of the price, and that's totally fine.
It's like you want to feed people. It's the number of people that's the determining factor.
Okay, let me run some numbers on the old on the old computer.
On the old causal.app.
Because I'm the one that has run the numbers previously.
Mate, 5 days into marriage, and you're already being derailed on the podcast by the wife.
All right, look. Okay, so let's just do some math. All right, let's do math. Let's do some live math, some quick maths.
Okay, nice.
All right. So 200 people.
Yeah.
All right.
Fine.
You got to feed them. They're going to have a meal.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
For 200 people, if you don't get something like super fancy, whatever, blah, 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 if you have food that benefits from economies of scale, £30 a head for food is not crazy. It's like
reasonable.
You go, as an individual, you can go to a restaurant and have a nice filling meal for £30 and you'll be happy about it. If you're feeding 200 people, like with the bulk, whatever, blah, 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 200 people, £30 a head. That's £6,000 on food.
Fine.
Right?
Yes.
Drinks. One thing that helped, no alcohol at our wedding.
Yeah, sure.
So there was like lower drink costs, maybe like.
So let's say a bottle of Schlur per person, which is about £2.
Okay, let's just say £5 a head. So £5 a head on drinks, all right? So £6,000 on food, right? Plus £1,000 on drinks. We're at £7,000 and everyone's fed and fed and watered. Okay? Lucia's shaking her head.
Mate,
okay,
it doesn't matter.
We need to account for things like servers. Actually, no, we don't. Well, the reason we don't need to account for servers is because in this kind of setup, you do like a buffet style. You have the thing laid out. Like people go up, get their food whenever they want, like buffet style. So, I mean, look, you would need some staff on the day to just like do stuff. So we're at £7,000 with food and drink, right? I mean, Lucia, do you want to just come here and enjoy?
I think in your buffet example, it wouldn't even be £30 a head, because if you imagine like a huge tub of biryani, it's probably like more like £5 a head. If we're thinking in economies of scale with a massive buffet thing that people are serving them, like 5 to 10 quid a head.
Okay, we're actually trying to do something frugal here. Yeah, £30 a head could go a long way, man. All right, £20 a head.
£20 a head, $4,000 for the food. Let's say
I know, $5,000 for food, $1,000 for
sure. So $6,000 and everyone's fed and watered.
No, $4,000 in food. You're right. And $1,000 in drinks. So we're at £5,000, and we have all the food and drinks, right? Right. Next, I guess you would need like a furniture rental. You need tables and you need chairs for everyone. I think it's a bit too much to like make people sit on the floor. Call me old fashioned, but I think that's expensive.
Okay, sure.
So rental. I mean, how much our chairs cost? £1,000 for 300 pounds, £3,000.
Hi guys.
Oh, hello.
£3 a chair.
£3 a chair. Okay, so and we got like fancy wedding chairs, right? Like, they cost £3 a chair. So it cost us £600 on chairs for the day. Okay. So let's just say it costs, like, if we didn't get fancy wedding chairs, it's £500 on chairs, right?
Cool, yeah.
So we're at 5,500, right?
Yeah.
All right. You need some tables, right? Let's say tables cost like twice as much as chairs, just to be conservative, all right? So now we're at £6,500.
Right.
All right, £6,500. Okay, what else do you need? You need a magician. We had a magician at the wedding.
Yeah, you hire Ali Abdaal, and that's free.
Yeah, Ali Abdaal to do the magic.
Yeah. You want a photographer? Hire Ali Abdaal to do the photography. You want a videographer? You want an MC?
He is truly full stack. Okay, so look, we're at 6,500. We got seats, we got tables, we got food, we got drink.
Yeah, fine.
You do need a place to do this. Like, where are you going to fit 200 people where they'll let you do it? Okay. I have a friend in Essex who has a farm. 100% he'd be down for us to like take one of his fields.
Nice.
Right?
Sick.
I imagine most people know a guy with a farm and can just like take one of the fields. So let's say let's say just to be nice, we're like, hey bro, we'll give you 1G just, to say thank you. All right. So £1,000 for the farm. So you're now at £7,500.
But they need cover for rain because we live in England.
Yeah, we live in England, so we do need some kind of rain cover. And so what we can get is a bunch of like umbrellas, like parasol type things, maybe.
Wait, so they're sitting on the grass with
No,
umbrellas?
they've got chairs and tables, mate.
Okay,
Yeah.
on the grass, but with nothing to protect them from the elements.
Currently,
Okay.
while we're spending 7,500, we can go a bit further. Are you looking at parasols?
I'm looking at marquee pricing.
Yeah, so Lucia, you said marquees.
Marquees cost like thousands, as far as I'm aware.
But how many?
A big marquee.
How many thousands?
Like, I don't know. I'm guessing like 5,000.
Okay. I mean, Ali, you marquee.
But are we for 200 people?
Oh, okay, this is interesting. So let's see, stretch tents.
Is this interesting for people?
Aha, okay. Here we go. Marquee size, 1 to 3 days higher. Number of guests at round tables, 200. Okay.
Yep.
Cost of marquee only, £1,369.
All right, what else?
Cost of flooring.
Oh yeah, we probably want some flooring.
Do we? Plastic.
No.
It depends how many the farm is.
Yeah, let's not get the flooring. It's not
good flooring. I think cost of marquee and ivory lining to fit marquee about 700 quid. So that comes to about
2,000.
Yeah.
Okay, I was wrong. I thought marquees were more expensive than that.
Okay.
2,000. Okay. So the winter package, which includes the marquee, the floor, chandeliers, and a heater, is £2,669 for a 200-man marquee. So should we say 2,500 quid just to be conservative with that?
Okay, fine. So we're 7,500 for food, drinks.
Yeah, and 2,500 for the shelter.
And 2,500 for the marquee. So we're now at £10,000. We have a venue, we have food, we got chairs and tables. Now there's some decorations like flowers. We're on a farm. You
can pick some daffodils off of the field or something like that.
Yeah. We do. Okay, let's just say we do something low key on the flowers front, and we spend like 500.
Sainsbury's 2 for 5 quid kind of vibes.
All right, so we spend £500 on flowers and just general little decorations for the tables, just to make things a little bit.
So that's 10.5k. Good.
So we're at 10.5k. What else goes into it? One of my friends actually officiated the ceremony. Again, this was a portfolio piece for him, so he didn't get any money for it.
I have enough team members who are keen to be photographers and we have enough cameras that would have been free.
Yeah, I mean, we could have done, like, one of my friends bought his camera and took some sick pics. Like, we could definitely just like get a few friends with nice cameras and be like, hey man, can you just take pics from this time to this time or something?
Easy.
Okay, so you need to pay photographers and that kind of stuff.
Entertainment? Do you want?
That's basically it. If you're saving money, you would have a Spotify playlist with like some.
Yeah, you'd have a Spotify
playlist speaker rather than a live band. Although you could hire Ali Abdaal to sing some songs if you would like. Yeah, me and Catherine, we could have done some banger songs.
Oh, your outfits.
Outfits.
You probably want to wear a nice outfit, even.
If we're going frugal, I mean, my outfit was a sherwani from Pakistan that cost like, I don't know, 300 quid or something.
Yeah. You could both get an outfit for that or less.
Yeah, so let's just say
combined. 500
quid on outfits. We're at £11,000.
Okay.
And we're basically done, to be honest. Like,
that's like a third to a quarter of the price of like the standard 200 person.
Yeah, but like basically if you want 200 people, like £10,000 is like the absolute lowest. And so if you just want like a party for 200 people, like you will be spending 10k.
Fair play. Anyway, next question.
So we could have gone down that route.
So do you feel like, given that you could have done that versus you did not do that, and there was like I don't know, however many tens of Ks delta bit. I actually have no idea how much you spent on the wedding, so I'm gonna assume the number was about 40k, just because I'm making a wild assumption. So that 30k delta, to what extent do you think that was quote worth it, or is that not how you want to like? Do you not want to think too hard about that?
I think we're in the fortunate position where like we could afford it. Like it was fine.
Counterfactuals.
Lucia doesn't seem happy about that.
I don't think we should make that argument.
I think we're in the fortunate position where we don't need to worry about it. Could 30k be better spent? Absolutely. Hell yes, you could find better use for 30k. I guarantee it. It doesn't take much thought. It depends what question you're asking.
Okay. What's it like being married?
I don't know.
I'm going to step out at this point.
Yeah, we're back to the two-man pod.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like it's probably sunk in yet, because I mean, we basically left for our honeymoon the following morning, and now we're just like chilling in the Caribbean in Saint Lucia. When is this pod going out? It's going out tomorrow.
Correct.
Yeah, if anyone on the pod is in Saint Lucia, hit me up. Just like drop me a DM on Twitter or something, or sorry. Holly.
I thought you left the room. Sorry, Lucy, I didn't mean it. I was kidding. I was doing a bit.
Yeah, look, if anyone's in St. Lucia, we're here for another like 8 days, something like that. And so it could be cool to meet a local and just hang out and chat. But no, I mean, it's not like we've started living normal married life. We're just like, this is the first proper break that either of us are taking from work for a long time.
Oh yeah, how does that feel to have a email respond at work and stuff?
Yeah, it was good until about yesterday, but now there is stuff that I'm needed for. So that break from work isn't going terribly well. Yeah, basically, I don't know. It doesn't feel like we're living normal married life yet. Like, it still feels weird when I'm like, oh, I have a wife. You know, that I'm a husband.
Can you share some of the highlights from your speech?
Highlights from the speech?
Yeah. What are the funny bits?
The funny bits? Mate, I actually bottled the speech, man. I was just too emotional and couldn't keep it together and messed up all the jokes and was probably barely coherent. I think I had some solid jokes in there, man. I just like bottled the delivery because I was like crying. Yeah, I had some jokes. I mean, what do you want? Do you want me to tell the jokes?
Tell the jokes.
Okay, sure. So this wedding was a vegan Muslim wedding, right? It's quite an unusual thing. So in my opener, I was going to, thank the previous speakers. I'm like, oh, thank you so-and-so for the speech. It's a tough act to follow, but I'll give it a go. I have had a little bit to drink. Obviously, the joke there is that there was no alcohol at the wedding. And then, I'd say, believe it or not, this is actually my first vegan Muslim wedding. And that's funny because no one else has been to a vegan Muslim wedding either. And then I say, what that means is that the food is very ethically produced, but it arrives 2 hours late. Right? Laughter,
half the audience gets it.
Pakistani, general like Muslim country is not very punctual just culturally, right? So that's that joke. Then I make some jokes, just some topical patter. I talk about what was the next one? Oh yeah, kind of thank everyone for coming. A special thank you to those of you that have come from abroad. We had people from the US, from Pakistan, from Japan, and a special welcome to all the new COVID variants that you've brought with you as well.
That was a good one.
Yep. And then it was a very hot day, very uncharacteristically hot day in the UK. So obviously you've got to make a joke about the weather. So I say, if you have come from abroad, the weather's always like this. This is a normal weekend for us. Obviously, the joke is that it's not normal weekend. Weather's not like that. That's more of an opener for the follow up, which is that there's actually been the hottest summer ever recorded in UK history, thanks to global warming. And so, for those of you that have come here today by train or in one of the 3 Teslas in the car park, thank you for your service. That's just.
Did you say that? I don't remember that bit.
I think I was just like, I didn't say that joke. Nightmare. But it was in there.
Yeah, in mine I had a joke as well as an opener, which I just completely forgot, and I was annoyed at myself.
Yeah,
I was like, damn, that would have been a good one.
Yeah. So that was the next one, and then I kind of say some sentimental stuff about how it's so nice to have all everyone here today from like different parts of my life all in one place, and how special that is. And then I make a special mention to Lucas, my friend and business partner, who started a company with me 3 years ago. And Lucas is German, and so he's very hardworking. He's a great work ethic, very methodical kind of guy. And I say that he keeps me accountable. He keeps me working hard. And actually, I know that my married life is off to a good start because this wedding was the only way I could get a couple of days off work. So that's another one in there. They just keep coming. And then so that's kind of, I think that's most of the jokes. But on the COVID one, yeah. Yeah, so then the rest is mostly like sentimental stuff about how much I love my family and all this kind of thing, and how much I love my wife, that kind of stuff. Yeah, so that was it.
I feel like you had a good joke about me.
Did
Yeah,
I?
you said a few funny things about me when
What's
you
the
were
joke
being
about me?
sentimental about how much you like me.
I said we used to fight a lot. We'd always try and like rough each other up. And then I said, well, I don't remember exactly what we fought about, but you were probably in the wrong. It's kind of like, it's not like laugh out loud funny. I don't, maybe I was just spitballing.
I think it's good,
Really
because at the end you were like, oh, and he's told me to remind you that if you enjoyed his speech, then you should all remember to like and subscribe. And that got a big laugh.
Oh, yeah. That was a bit of a, that was kind of prepared, actually. That's kind of prepared. Yeah. Anyway, that was a speech. But no, it was a really nice day, man. It was awesome. One thing that I thought was interesting is that when I've been to weddings and there's like photographers and like videographers, I always think like, man, like, come on, let's be real. Like, who's ever going to watch this footage again? This is so pointless. But actually, I think it's like really nice to have. And as like photos have been like trickling in from just people's phones and people's cameras over the past few days, it's been like so cool. I can't wait for like the latest drop of wedding photos. And our photographer is like working on like editing her ones and stuff. And our videographer is also producing something over the next few weeks. So I think when it's your wedding, you do actually care about the photos and videos.
Who'd have thought?
Yeah. Who just
Yeah, I did.
How did you find the wedding?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, just on that point, I was at my friend Tom's wedding over a year ago now, and it took me a whole year to get him the drone footage that I'd taken. And I was just like, oh man, like it's been so long. It's like, and it just took me ages to find the drone and find the micro SD card and find a reader, like a whole year. And he kept on reminding me, and I finally sent him the drone footage about a week ago. But yeah. I feel like I appreciate now why he was sort of kind of badgering me for it. Apologies, Tom, for taking so long. But no, it was a good day. It was ridiculously hot. But I quite enjoyed it. It was really nice, sort of being there as like saying hello to the guests, and like you and I were wearing like basically the same outfit, and everyone knew I was your brother, and so I kind of got a lot of it was kind of like a VIP. It sort of felt like co-hosting Paxlock Ball almost, where in a way you have that you kind of the societal permission to just go up to people and be like, hey, are you guys having a nice time? Anything can get you that. You feel very off service, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
So that was good. And yeah, spent a while rehearsing the speech, which went down well.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Thank you. Great. Hung out with the fam. Yeah, no, it was a solid day. Had a great time.
Has it changed how you view like weddings? I think when I go to other people's weddings, it's going to be like a lot more meaningful for me. I mean, I guess I was the best man at one of my friends' weddings a few years ago, and that was like quite meaningful and like a big deal. But like most other weddings I've gone to, I mean, I guess we just if you're like this, you just go to a lot of weddings. And it might be like your mom's friend or something, or like, just people you might not necessarily be that close to. But I think now, even if it's not someone I'm close to, like, I think I'll be able to appreciate like the sort of the sanctity of the moment,
Yeah. I feel like me, it probably hasn't changed my approach to weddings, where it's just have a nice day. I play.
Nice.
I think one thing that was interesting was I think how different cultures approach weddings. Because like if I think of, for example, of most of my white friends, it's like, they rock up the day of the wedding and they leave the day of the wedding. And it's not like, it's just like whatevs. If I think of like a handful of white friends I know whose like siblings have gotten married, but I think in Desi culture, a wedding is a whole like family event, and like it becomes this whole thing where the whole family gets together and like does stuff, and it's all very like together and collective and stuff. Yeah, that was interesting because I had never quite like appreciated that was how, for example, Mimi and Nani were approaching the wedding, having grown up in that environment where it's like a wedding. Oh my God, it's the entire family is now all focused on this wedding. Whereas all the weddings that I've been to in the last 10 years of my life have been just like, you just rock up. And that seems to be the thing that happens.
I mean, I think probably Yeah, I think that there's definitely big cultural differences. I think that is definitely one of them. I suspect, like, for your white friends, like, you wouldn't be like, they would probably have some family visiting from out of town for a couple of days, or a few days or whatever. Like, you just wouldn't know about it, right? So I don't think that's that unusual. I think the sort of the Desi tradition that I really appreciated was having like a sort of multi-day sort of thing. So basically from like 1 week before the wedding, we started having like friends and family come from various countries and like stay either at our place or near our place, and you just kind of like hang out, do stuff during the day, and then we had a few like official wedding functions. So we had like 2 days before the wedding there was like an official like wedding function, and then one day before the wedding there was another one organized by Lucia's family, and then there was the actual wedding day. And I think the feedback I got from a lot of people was that was actually super nice, because if it's just like one day, you have a lot of strangers together in like a room, and like you can't really get to know people that well. Whereas if you're seeing like the same people like 3 days in a row, it's like much more of a vibe, and like you see them on day one, and you're kind of hanging out, breaking the ice, and then you see them the next day, and like it's kind of like a low optionality holiday thing, where like you're going to be with see these people again for the next few days, and so I think that just kind of makes it so much nicer for the guests. And so I think previously I used to think like, oh man, like Desi weddings are pretty mental. Like, why do you need to have like 5 events or whatever? Like, why? It's like a whole week of a wedding. But I think it's actually really nice, a really nice vibe. So I really appreciated that.
Yeah, I like that aspect of it as well. And it was nice having like, the week before where, me and Adrian and Jose were sleeping like on mattresses in the living room, and like you and Lucas, you and Lewis and someone else sleeping in mattresses in the bedroom, and it's like big sleepover vibes, which I feel like I haven't really had since like university time. So that was quite nice.
Yeah, that was awesome. I thought it was sick. And I think it was really nice to just have like lots of family and the cousins and friends staying over. Because you don't see each other that often, but like when there is an occasion, it's like an excuse. And actually, like I always like take weddings now as like a good excuse to like, hey, like I'm actually gonna like take a few days off and go like hang out with these people, and like make a thing of it, because you don't get those kinds of situations very often.
Yeah, I feel like with a lot of my uni friends, or school friends, the only time I see them is at weddings these days, because that is the time where we get notice a year in advance, and people actively book their leave and book their holidays and stuff to coincide with the wedding. It's like, oh wow, I'm seeing all of the gang from school like all together for the first time since like school, and that's like very cool.
I think another cultural difference is like, in the various like concentric circles of like social circles, I think, in the Desi tradition, you kind of there's a wider circle of people that would be invited to a wedding. Just like people from like the local community that you like know, and like these are people like I wouldn't necessarily have like talked. These are people who probably more like my mum's friends, or like Nani's friends or whatever. Like I went to their houses tons of times. They've been to our house tons of times. Like, they've like seen me grow up, and I've like kind of grown up around them. Like I haven't like hung out one-on-one with like all the aunties or whatever, but I think I still found it like I still thought it was like really nice and like meaningful to have those kinds of people at the wedding. Whereas I think, I think in sort of Western culture, that's less of a thing, of like, parents' friends and parents like whatever is coming to kids' wedding, or, I think that's less of it.
Oh yeah, I quite like that too. A lot of those sort of extended family friends type people I hadn't seen in years. I was like, oh no, you guys are all in one place. I've not seen you in like 5 years, but like it's cool that we get to chat now.
Yeah, exactly.
What was it like? What was it like being the groom? Like, what was that experience on the day? Like, was it stressful? Was it like, did you feel the pressure of organizing, making sure people had a good time? Like, were you just chilling? Like, what was the vibe?
It wasn't stressful on the day. There was just like various things to do. Like we didn't like, so we had like a sort of 2 hour like drinks reception thing on the garden, in the garden of this venue, where people were just like hanging out. There was a magician, like just people like mingling and chatting before the meal. We were kind of mostly doing official photos with the photographer, and we are kind of mostly doing that kind of stuff. So we didn't get to just like chill with people that much at that point. During the meal, like we were kind of just like going around the tables and chilling, sitting down, hanging out with people. But again, there's a lot of people to like get around, and so that also felt like a bit rushed, and you couldn't really just chill out with people. I think in the evening, obviously we wanted to like take photos with lots of people, and so there was definitely a lot of like group photos and stuff. But there was a bit more of an opportunity to just like sit down and chill with people and catch up and things. So yeah, I'd say overall on the day you kind of like greet people and have like very brief conversations, and you don't really have the bandwidth for much more than that, which is a bit of a shame. But it is actually nice to. I think previously I would have thought that was like not like that was like a bit pointless or something. I remember at university we had these like balls and stuff, right? And I was always very. I'd been to a ball. I went to like one ball and I thought it was kind of lame, and I'd always been like very anti-ball. I didn't really go to any balls after that. And when I'd like talk to people about like why they want to go to this ball or something, they'd say like, oh, it's nice to see like all these people that are like, it's nice to see people rather than like spend time with them. It's nice to see people. And I was always like, yeah, so like great, there's some like acquaintance that you haven't seen in a year you'll see at this ball and you'll say hi and talk to, like, what's the point? But actually I think it's nice. I think I find it nice, but maybe it's different when it's your wedding versus when it's, I don't know, meeting. Yeah, I don't know. I think I appreciate the like seeing people and just like the sort of just like seeing an old friend and just like touching base and saying hi, rather than like having a whole. I think there is value to that. It doesn't need to be some like you need to go on holiday with them.
Even though we like low social optionality holidays.
Yeah. So that was something that I thought about. Oh yeah. This is just kind of whisper this one. We had sort of a few friends who have young kids, like I don't know, ages 0 to 10, and so there was probably like 10 of these like little kids at the wedding, and it was just like really nice to have them there because they were like playing together. They all like made friends with one another. I kind of sort of made friends with a couple of them, and I think it just kind of made the vibe like really, really just like wholesome and like fun and stuff. To just it's just like a nice image,
like
seeing like
tiny kids running around,
these little kids like running around and playing and stuff, and they're really cute, and like everyone like loves them, and it's like it's like it was a really nice vibe. Not to what's the term?
Tokenize children.
What's the term I'm looking for? So not to tokenize or like. Yeah, not to like turn them into props. But,
nice props.
It was a nice. It was really nice vibe to have kids there. So that was another thing. Yeah, and I kind of forgot that like kids just make friends with each other really easily, and like very quickly you just see like two of like the kids who've never met before. They're just like running around having fun and stuff like that. So that was really cool. And it was also because like we organized it. It was also cool to see like things are going according to plan. Like we had some like some like wooden lawn games out on the lawn, and then just seeing that people are actually playing with this. Cool, nice. That kind of stuff. I almost felt like I almost felt like I was playing God in a sense. Like created this, almost like The Sims. You kind of create this little environment, and you're watching The Sims like do the thing, and like, I guess on The Sims it's like, when they go in the swimming pool that you made, it's like, oh, cool. Whereas this was like when you were like seeing people like make friends with each other, like seeing like people meet new people and hit it off and stuff. You're like, or like play with the games, or like, just like for example, we had some food in the evening and cake and stuff. I didn't even know that the evening food had been served. People had already just like somehow found the evening food and we were just eating it. I was like, oh, sick. Like we had the evening food and now it's being used. Like, it felt a bit like The Sims.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was the wedding. One thing which I'm still a bit baffled by is that I posted a photo of our wedding, just like me and Lucia leaving the wedding. It's a nice photo on Twitter, and it's currently on 9.3K likes and 1,000
Bloody hell.
retweets.
That's like your most successful tweet of all time.
Yeah.
Wow. That's got to hurt.
After
all that.
Well. Yeah, Lucia actually came up with the tweet idea. I was thinking like, okay, I want to post like a wedding photo on Twitter.
Yeah.
I want to like share with the Twitter fam that I'm a married man. How am I going to do it? Like, I don't want to, it's got to be like, you got to have some kind of format, like ideally kind of lighthearted, kind of jokey or whatever. And you may recall that in November 2021, I did a tweet that went, "Apologies for the lack of tweets recently. I am in love." That was a banger. That got like 3,000 likes. Anyway, so Lucia remembered that I did that, and she was like, "Oh, why don't you like quote tweet that and post the picture and just write update?"
Good.
And so that's what we did.
Lucia's tweet idea has gone more viral than anything you've ever tweeted. Nice one. You married the right gal.
Much.
Good Twitter engagement.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to get her to start posting.
On your Twitter or on hers? Oh, I see.
No, on her.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That goes.
I have no further questions, Your Honor, on the wedding front.
Nice.
It is now 11 p.m. here, so I should probably walk home and sleep.
Oh, yeah.
We have a 8 a.m. YouTuber Academy Asia Pacific session tomorrow morning, so I need to be up for that. But this has been good. Thank you for engaging in the conversation, and enjoy the rest of the honeymoon. And we'll find a time to pod next week as well, I'm sure.